We're joined here by Matt from DJI. DJI comes out with so many exciting products every other week, it seems. I'm sure they keep you on your toes. Tell me what you have brought to the photography show this year. What have people been very excited by?
Sure. So essentially the theme of the booth is Imaging Never Sleeps, just as our content creators out there always getting into the action. And we have our latest drone, the FPV, DJI Avatar.
Right, so this is what, say, this gentleman here is trying out. It's been very, very popular. This is the Avatar here, and there's the headset there. Tell me a bit about who this drone is for, and where it's kind of pitched.
Yeah, so it's kind of it's one of our FPV drones. We also have the more traditional FPV drone over here, but this one's aimed more at people getting into FPV kind of drone flying and photography. It's very easy to pick up. It's very immersive, and that's one of the things that we wanted to get across. You really need to try it. Which is why we brought out the motion controller, which we have just here.
There we go.
Yep. So it's very easy to use. It's very intuitive. You have your throttle at the front, and simply by moving to the right or to the left, the drone will follow the direction of your movement. You don't have to worry about the drone coming down. It's got all the DJI technology that keeps it up literally without the user having to do anything.
Indeed. And just for the uninitiated, FPV, we're talking about first-person view here. So you are seeing, when you've got one of these strapped to your face, you are seeing in what looks like a kind of virtual reality pair of specs, really.
It's probably the closest thing to being like a bird without putting on a wingsuit.
There we go. That's exactly the right way of putting it. But you are seeing what the camera on the drone is seeing, rather than looking at the drone and hoping that it's, or having it on a screen in front of you. It's a very immersive experience. But surely, as filmmakers, you're trying to create that immersive experience anyway. So you become your viewer almost.
Exactly. I think it's a little bit one for yourself as opposed for the content creator. But a lot of people have been using it to get some fantastic shots in places like the Lake District and the Peak District, where you can fly through the valleys, you can fly into caves, you can fly around, and the controller gives you much more maneuverability.
Good stuff. So, drones, that's one thing. DJI, we know they do drones. What else have you brought to the show that, again, might be new for people who are watching?
Yeah, so I guess speaking of action and people getting out and about into the country, we have our brand new Osmo Action 3. Basically, this is our new model, which goes back to the original Osmo Action design. Yep. Basically, you can take it down 16 meters underwater. 16
meters, that's actually quite a long way, isn't it?
And for those that would like to go a little bit deeper, there's a waterproof housing that goes down to 60. So you can take it down to the depths with you. It also goes down to minus 20. So if you're out, on the mountains, a lot of traditional action cameras kind of tend to struggle with temperature, and this is something we've tried to overcome with the Action 3.
So really very much for the extreme kind of market there, those who are pushing creativity to the limits and going to some of the more extreme parts of the world in order to capture those. How's the action line been going so far? Because the action cam market isn't necessarily a new one, and there's obvious competition there. I guess it's been working out all right for DJI, otherwise you wouldn't still be pushing out with new revisions.
No, exactly. I mean, it's a market that we're relatively new to. As I said, with the original Osmo Action, we had the form factor which everyone's used to. We then went a little bit different with a new design for the Action 2.
Which is just here, I think, still. Yep. There we go.
And, that was a modular design, so the two pieces actually come apart, and you can decide either to add the power module or the module with the front screen. And this was more for your kind of city visits, exploring. You could put it onto your chest on a nice magnetic lanyard without having to hold it. It's quite discreet. It's nice to walk around a museum, and people wouldn't really tell that you had it on. So it was just about capturing content. And then we went back to the more extreme sports with the Osmo Action 3.
But that's the good thing, and that's why the Osmo Action 2, still, you are marketing those alongside each other, because it's not just a slightly, up-spec'd version. it's got features in its own right that means that it stands on its own 2 feet.
Exactly, and one of the nice things that we took from the Action 2 is the magnetic side of things. So we have the magnetic clip, which basically goes onto the bottom of the Action 3. But it also enables you to move quickly between horizontal and vertical. So there's no fiddling about with screws. It's a matter of just unclipping and turning the camera, and you're good to go.
Ah, yes, vertical video. Who remembers when people were saying, oh, that's all very novel. If you don't have a product that can create vertical video, then you're shutting off a huge market in terms of the creator space at the moment. Listen, Mark, thank you very much for whistle-stop tour of what you've got going on. There's loads more here as well. We haven't looked at the cinematic stuff, but if that is your bag, then make your way here, just near to the main entrance here at the photography show, and Mark and his colleagues will see you there. For now, thank you very much.
Thank you.